We are focusing this year from a community service aspect. So yes, let's directly dive in. So first, we'll look into our team. So you all must have already know us, but just to run through. So our two ADRs, Rotaract Ishini and Rotaract Kavinda. Then we have 5 directors, that is Rotaract Thimira, myself, Rotaract Gajaba, and Rotaract Dinu, Rotaract Charithma, and Rotaract Kugashini. So this is like the whole community service team. So this you already know, but this is like a small rundown. So let's move on with the presentation. So this is our vision and mission for the year. So this is like basic theory stuff. Y'all can read. So I will not repeat this again. Y'all can read and go through. So we'll move on to the important things of the presentation. So we'll move on to the next slide. Okay. Glance at the avenue. So community services is a special avenue where we do projects that directly, we give something directly back to the society. What makes community service special is that, when someone sees Rotaract from outside, for example, think we are doing a project in club service. Someone might think that we are having fun. We are having fun. But it is important to have fun while you do something. Community service is where, when someone sees us, as Rotaract, as clubs, as district, or whatever, fitting they see that we are doing something. That is community service. People can't say, me put fun. Nah. When someone sees that we are doing a community service project, what they see is, that we are doing something, that we are giving something back to the society. That is why, community service is special. So this year, we will be having 5 main areas of focus. That is the environment. Some clubs have a separate avenue for environment, wildlife and animal welfare, climate actions, marginalized communities, anti-discrimination and coexistence. And last, we have health, safety, and communal well-being. So these are like these are the several categories that we are focusing this year. Your clubs have been, doing projects on these avenues throughout the years, from the past. As I mentioned before, මේකෙන් තමයි අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් අපි ඇත්තටම Rotaract වලින් දෙයක් දෙනවා කියලා. So keep that in mind. It's very different from other projects, as I mentioned. So keeping that in mind, do projects, with putting your heart into, let's move into the rest of the presentation. We have key objectives. Rotaract, Dinu?
Yes. Thank you, Rotaract Past President Gajaba Senaratne. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. And yes, hi everyone. I'm Rotaract Past President Dinu Induwara, Joint Government Service Director for Government Service. So, as Gajaba mentioned, this is the avenue which shows what we really do in Rotaract. On the projects, community service වලින් තමයි අපිට ඇත්තටම කියන්න පුළුවන් මෙන්න මේක තමයි අපි ඇත්තටම Rotaract වල කරන්නේ. මේවා තමයි අපි මිනිසුන්ට කරන්නේ. මිනිසුන් මෙන්න මේ වගේ ප්‍රතිලාභ තමයි හම්බුනේ. So yes, we are coming to the objectives of the community service avenue, guys. So as you all know, in Sri Lanka, we have so many problems available, right? When it comes to the schools to the different communities, there are so many problems available, which those communities can't solve themselves. And we, the Rotaractors, we have so many resources, right? We have the upcoming doctors to engineers to so many professionals coming up, right? So many, we have a big, huge talent pool available, and we have the capability to serve those needs in those communities.
Rotaract Dinu.
I think he got disconnected, yeah.
Shall we wait for him or shall someone continue?
Gaji, so you can run through, no?
Yes, okay. So as Dinu was, Dinu is here, Dinu is here, Dinu is here.
Yes, I'm
Gaji, you can run through the parts.
Dinu is here, Ishini.
Yes, I'm here. I'm audible now.
Yes. Yes, Dinu, you are audible.
All right. So yes, I was telling the first key objective is that we can solve and we can serve this. Yes, we can serve the society from this avenue, and also we can through this avenue we can establish the brand image of Rotaract through community service projects. As in, imagine that you are doing a project. It can be at a beach or in a community, and you are doing the PR. So when you are doing those PR, people get to see, okay, a set of young individuals and they are from the Rotaract movement. And this is what they do. They're actually doing a good stuff, right? It can be on Facebook to Instagram, or where you guys are publishing articles on newspapers. So when those people see, they get to know this stuff, right? And when the other young individuals see this, they will be interested in this and they will also want to join Rotaract, right? And coming to the next one, exposure of Rotaractors to local communities who are in need. So as I said, we have a big talent pool and we can get those talents and resources and do better projects which will solve the community issues, right? And then developing a community of caring and responsible Rotaractors through developing better understanding of the different types of communities. Well, from the talents of the Rotaractors and those, when it comes to the Rotaractors and the young individuals in Sri Lanka, the best part is that they're actually interested to help people. We see that when it comes to the community service problems, right? So we can actually build this caring and responsible Rotaractors, and in the end, the youth of Sri Lanka. As our DR's year theme, Youth for All, we can make this country a better country, and we are the future. And by community service avenue, we can help this dream become a reality. And coming to the final one, room in the Rotaractors to become change makers of the world by guiding them to initiate innovative and sustainable initiatives targeting the avenue focus areas. We are not just doing community service projects, guys. We have the capability to come up with innovative ideas. I don't have to list down the projects, right? The innovative projects happening in in the Rotaract movement. Our Rotaractors are coming up with so many innovative ideas and sustainable initiatives. When the project is done, Nikangia project guys, our projects, most of the projects are sustainable, and we are actually promoting doing sustainable initiatives this year, because when our projects are done, those communities should be able to continue continue what they are doing by themselves. So yes, that's with the key objectives, and we are moving to the next one.
Okay, citation requirements. So you all must have got the citation document now itself. So you all must know some of these, but we'll just run down through it. Lamai sabi citation dala to keep you all in track. We know that you all are doing a great job, in community service. But we put citations each and every year. We put mandatory citations. We keep optional citations because to keep the avenues of each and every club in track. So in this year, we will be very strict. Then, how we have the assembly. Because this year, as the district steering committee, the community service team, we will be also in your project most of the time. So these things will be highly monitored, and for some reason, lamai meva complete karana bari unot, you all will be not given citations. If you are not interested in citations, come on. But if you are hoping to get citations for your club, please follow these and complete these citations. Meva amaru citations neme lamai. Meva samahar velawata each and every citation. Samahar in one project itself, you all can complete 1 or 2. So I'll run through each and every citation. So at the end, if you all have any questions, you all can raise. So these have been shared in the citation document. So go through it. I'll just run through this. Okay. So clubs are required to carry out minimum of 4 community service projects. Four community services can lazy. So you all can do anyway. You all can cover that. Out of which one project focusing on climate action. So this year we are focusing on climate action. So you all have to be innovative. So this is something new to our for the country itself. It is something new. Focus at least one project on climatic action. See Google and see what the other countries are doing. Last poti project. Mahame lokume winter buying nepa. Feasible stuff. Start from the small steps and go up. Okay. Balan search karla bala do something. Okay. Climate action. Then the community service focus cluster project. So as you all know, Together SL, if you all have been in Rotaract for several years, Together SL is like the cluster project that we do this year, and we are very much vigilant about the cluster project this year. So the cluster project should be completed on or before 5th February 2024 and submitted the final report by the 28th of February 2024. So Together SL, the documents and everything, the groups and everything will be shared during the coming weeks, and a member of the Discord, the community service team, will be also allocated. And this year we have slightly changed the project scope on what to do exactly. So for a much more feasible way. Okay. So Ekanisa Harriet Balla get everything sorted for Together SL. This time we'll be calling it the cluster project. Okay. So get everything sorted for that. We'll guide you all through the process once we divide the groups and once we start on the project. Then out of the total number of projects, clubs need to focus at least one project, one or more of the district focus areas mentioned below. So these are some district focus areas. So the main focus you all need to do projects. So fundamental human rights, ocean conservation, prevention of plastic pollution. These are common problems. You all can do very good projects on these. So one project, one project focusing on these things. Then again, the cluster initiative, we are highlighting it again. Please adhere to these guidelines. We are specially focusing on the cluster initiative this time because, as Dinu mentioned, we are a pool of youth which have talent. So 8 or 10 clubs coming together with their resources and their talents, there should be a sizable outcome of it, right? Nikang me session nakala nikang patchala in the band ledge put ne. So harine so because of that, we will be guiding you all through the cluster initiative this year. So please adhere to the deadlines that we have provided. If any change is there, we will be communicating that. So keep that in mind. What are the cluster project? Okay. Then next slide. Okay. Over to Rotaract. Charithma.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I know whether I'm audible enough?
Yes, Charithma, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you, Gajaba. So yeah,
let's move on to the guidelines that we are going to provide for the masterminds and powerhouses of this initiative, of this avenue. So whatever the thing that we are going to talk, we have already mentioned about the citations, maybe district initiatives. And when it comes to organizing a project in your own club, when it comes to community service, the community service directors of your particular club and the environmental services director, if you have a separate avenue for that, those people are going to be the powerhouses of this this journey. So these are the guidelines that we are going to provide to you as something that you can go through during your year. So something to mention that right now we are at the very beginning of the year. Each and every one of us with the big energy, with a big enthusiasm, but when we are passing down the year, since we are having 4 quarters, we tend to lose that in enthusiasm, energy as well. So this is the point, because since we are having that energy and the enthusiasm in us, this is the point that we can plan the whole thing, the backup plans, emergencies, and everything that we can execute throughout the year with our members, with our projects and all. So when it comes to the guidelines of the club directors, what is the main thing as a club director, community service director, environment service director that you need to focus on? Before anything else, planning is the main thing that you need to focus on. So something that we always talk about, something that you're also involved in at this time, because right now you have to submit your year plan. So you must be busy with the year plan and the avenue plans as well. So something that you are going through at this moment. So when it comes to planning, most of the time we think the lineup of the projects, what we are going to do with the particular project and the timeline of it. That is the planning. Wrong. That's not the planning when it comes to a community service project and when it comes to any other project as well, because planning is something else, something far more than that. Because we are misunderstanding the concept of planning, we tend to lose that attention, enthusiasm, energy that I mentioned at the very beginning after you passing down the year with the following quarters. So right now we have to identify what is the planning and execute the planning and do the year according to the structure we have designed at the very beginning. So before the planning, as the community service directors, environmental service directors, something that you need to keep in your heart is, as Dinu mentioned, as Gaji mentioned, you are here doing something which is you got because you are privileged enough. From our birth, we have been given so many things from this nature, from different kinds of communities. We are getting so many things from the people around us, the people you have never seen, the people you have never talked to, our ancestors and this environment. But do we get the opportunity to give back to them because of all the things that they have invested on us? Most of the time, for most of the people, it's a no. But here, becoming a Rotaractor, you got the opportunity, especially as a community service director, environmental service director, you got the opportunity to give back to the society, give back to the nature, right? So you are on the game as the privileged, blessed people on this earth. Start off your journey, keeping that in your heart, because that should be your main motive. Whenever you are doing something, it should be focused on the impact. It's not about completing a citation. It's not completing like the goals of a club, like the outline goals of the club. It should be about giving back to the society, giving back to your nature, and thinking what that person who belongs to the beneficiaries will get, what that nature item aspect will feel if you were that nature aspect for that person. Having that in your mind, let's start off with the planning. So I mentioned that planning is not only about lining up the thing. right? Lining up the project and all. It is something more than that. So what is that, if I say so? The first thing, the thing that we always focused on, the lineup, the agenda. What are the projects that we are going to do? What is the timeline of it? First thing. Other thing is, yes, you are the directors of your club, that which means you are the brand of your club. As the president, secretaries, and the board, you are the people who showcase your club to the outside world. But guys, in order to execute your year plan, in order to execute your avenue plan, you are not the most valuable keeper. Your members. So they are the driving force of your club, the strength of your club. So it is included in the planning, the human resource planning, which is how you're going to plan out your members according to community service and your directors according to community service and the whole year according to community service. And that is human resource planning. So after that, another thing, most of the time, in order to execute community service project, we need funds. So finance planning also another thing which we have to do at the very beginning of the year. As you can remember, at the beginning of the last year, we had to face the economic crisis. And with that, the resources that we had to focus on when it comes to raising the finance, the fundraisers, we had to change those things. So adapting to them as well, looking ahead of your year, you can do finance planning, like what should be the fundraisers for these projects. If you have sponsors already in the past years, how you're going to retain them, how you're going to keep them, and also how you're going to pitch for new partners. For that, if it is not a very new initiative that you're going to execute this year, if you have executed in the last years as well, you can focus on the impact of it, the PR you have done, the things that you can show from the last years, and pitch for the partners to keep them and to get the new ones as well. So that is finance planning. And the last one, the resources inherited from your legacy planning. If you're not a charter club, and this year you have at least 1 year before your year. So Rotaract is not about a year if you are a secretary, president, or a director. It's about a set of years. It's about a chain of years, right? So you can't ignore everything that you have done in your past, in the past years. Good, it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, whatever it is. There are many things that you have been inherited from your legacy. You have to embrace them, you have to learn from them and get the good things and focus on how to eliminate the bad things, because the history can repeat if it is a bad thing or a good thing. You have to focus on all the legacy that you have been kept and plan the next year as well. Your year, right? Those are the main aspects that I can see when it comes to effective planning. Not only about the lineup, but which includes every aspect that I have mentioned. So considering the main aspects, we have to make a plan when it comes to the year plan, which we are going to make at the very beginning. We have to make a doable plan at this stage, not something that we imagine, that we like to do, that we love to do. We always love to do this. It's not true. It shouldn't be something like that. According to all the things, human resource planning, finance planning, resources that you have been inherited from the legacy planning, connecting all those things, you should be able to see what is doable for this year with the current context, with the strengths we have for the current team, with the weaknesses we have for the current team, with the opportunities that we are getting from the outside world, with the threats that we can be like affected by the outside world. Considering all the things, you have to make a doable plan, because if we take too much on our plate at the very beginning, it's very nice to feel, it's very pleasant to feel at the very beginning, but that will expose you for sure. So at this stage, what you focus on, plan in the resources that you have at your hand, but it is always changeable. There's no restriction that we say to you that you have strict with it, be very strict with this the plan that you made at the very beginning, because you got a year. A year can change at any time. 4 quarters will be like 4 different timelines. They will go in different situations, changes. We can't predict that. At that time, we can say it when it comes to the outside threats and opportunities, as well as with the time we see the strengths that we have never seen from our members. We see the weaknesses that we have never identified at the very beginning. That also can happen. Where the most plans tend to fail. We thought, yes, we could do this. This person could do this. With these resources, we could do this. But everything changed from the outside world or internally, which we couldn't predict at the very beginning. So that plan tend to change. So making a doable plan at the very beginning, it's very important, and it can be changed at any time that you want. After you are getting like step by step, then you see, okay, we can elevate this, we can level up this, then go for it. Then you can take that challenge and go for it. At the very last 2 to 3 months also, if we see more progress, if we see some changes that we can expand our scope, you can do that. There's no limitations, no restrictions. What you have to do after making a doable plan is, you have to be, if a president, you are a president, secretary, or an avenue director, be mindful about every changes that can come to you, right? The year is ready to offer you many changes. Look at them, observe them, be mindful of them, and the changes that you can see in the members as well. Be it a community service, community-based project, institute-based project, different kinds of, there are changes that you will have to face. According to them, you can change your plan, right? But at the very beginning, please be kind enough for yourself to serve only what you can, what is doable at the very beginning to your plate. Then you won't be overwhelmed or exhausted with the time, right? And also, when it comes to organizing a project, when it comes to executing a project, if you're going to initiate a project, if you're going to continue what we did last year, there's a very big misunderstanding, a norm that we have among us. If that satisfies you, when you're serving to the community and it satisfies you, so it's a good initiative. So we have done something really big. We have done something really great. Is that so? Only if that thing only make you satisfied, oh, I did a big something like this, so it's really great, I feel so grateful about this, I did something like that, so it should be very grand and grateful. I gave back to the nature, I gave back to the community. Can we say so only with only something that satisfy only us? Imagine that you are doing something, a project when it comes to community service. Let's talk about a project. We are selecting a particular community, marginalized community, and we are planning and executing an event with them. So if we are not very mindful of the event that we are going to conduct with them, we can give them many things, we can invest many money on it, but if you are not thinking about how that will affect, how your behavior in that particular event will affect them, because they are people suffer something that there's something that suffers them from their heart because of some reasons. That's why we are going to help them. But instead of helping them, what we do is we are making their life more tragic. Is that something that we need to do by doing a community service project? So being a movement, being a club, being an avenue of community service, having many resources, investing many resources, that's not something that we need to do. And we do not encourage you to do as well. Always think of the perspective from the beneficiary. It's not you. It's not about you. If you satisfy from what you did, it's not about you. It's all about the beneficiary. How that person will feel, how that thing will fail, what will that person will face after that you did that particular thing. So always be mindful about that as well. When it comes to environmental services, imagine that you are doing a beach cleanup and you are disposing all the garbage that you clean a particular space, a limited space, very cleanly, right? You make everything very perfect and you have many resources, many money, many people. Okay, it's perfect for PR and everything. But if you find about the place that you have used to dispose those garbage, it can be a place that can cause damage more than the garbage was kept in the place that it was there, right? It can be water is also something that you won't be very mindful about it. You just kept it there because that is out of the place that you have selected. So you have done a great environmental services project. Is that so? No. Doing a project is not that something community service project is not that something satisfy you or the PR, or doing a nice PR only can being able to exhibit your project in a nice manner is not the only thing that can measure the progress of your project. So always be mindful about how that nature feels, how that community feels. Always when you are planning a project, executing a project, don't be scared of this. Don't be because very strict. If you want citations, yes, we understand and we are very strict on it, because like Gajaba said, we are not just strict about you doing a project, but we do consider all the things that we mentioned as well. The sustainability of it, what you have done after that project, everything. You must be able to create impact in this community, in the nature, as we expect, not just doing a project with a nice name, with a nice PR. It's not community service. So after that, so in the planning, there are not only the new initiatives, there can be signature project, but when it comes to continuing your signature project, something that we have done 10 years before, 5 years before is not something that we can implement as it is for this new world. After the virtual world came, after the economic crisis came, we are living in a different world. So adapt to these world changes and execute, be innovative according to those changes, and adapt into these changes as well. Be innovative to initiate your own projects for the year as well. And as I mentioned before, Rotaract is not about 1 year. You are doing a club is not about 1 year, right? You can initiate a project this year, but don't always hope for the result to see in this year. Focus on years, do planning for years, do experiment for years. It can fail always. You don't need to give up, but you should have the end goal of not ending the project with the end of the year, like getting the best outcome of it, but with a progressive development, with the effective development, you should focus on getting at the end of the project, outcome of the project as at the end of the project, not just focusing on a year, right? um, another place where most projects tend to fail because of just planning for a year, and then even in the year also the project won't be able to execute nicely, but there's no future for the project as well with the club. So something that you need to focus more on as a director. So another thing which belongs to human resource planning, always have an organizing committee for your project. If you don't have many resources, many humans around you, it can be 2, 3 or people, but have some people, keep them involved. That is the only way you can make them committed towards a project, towards your club. Always keep them involved. Don't always try to do all the projects by yourself. keep your members around and give them designation. There can be finance managers, there can be PR coordinators, there can be sponsorship coordinators. Give them designation, give them some value, and show them that they are valuable, they are involved. And after you make the year plan as the directors and as the president secretaries, always give your members, your general members, a chance to give them ideas, their ideas as well. Paint the structure in their own colors, because that is the only way they will feel that, oh, okay, this is my project also, not my director's project. I'm not doing something that belongs to my director, I'm doing something belongs to me. So make it free for their ideas, always listen to them, always make it available for them as well, so they will be involved and committed towards the project and towards the avenue as well. And something that you can always something that you can see on the slide as well, the community analysis and the sustainability analysis. As the world displayed, it's not something very difficult, but something that we always need to follow when we are doing scientific research or whatever the thing. If we are going to execute some plan, we have to focus on those things. When it comes to community analysis, just focus on the problem and how you're going to solve it. And sustainability analysis also something most of the time it's a part of the community analysis, where you will think after a year, after a month, after some kind of a period, where you can see this project, how this can be beneficial to the particular beneficiaries and so on. And make your members keep them understood about Rotary areas of focus and sustainable development, where you can see instances to implement your project and plan out your project as well. And as the last thing, I would suggest you to partner up with many organizations, Rotaract clubs, and don't like for the partnerships, I mean, financial partnerships as well. You can go for multiple partners. Don't always focus on when it's about budgeting. Don't always focus on about like millions of budget. Another misconception that we have is if we are doing a good community service project, we need to invest like millions of budgets there. No, right? Without any profit as well. Considering about the impact, thinking from the perspective of the beneficiary, we can do project. It's not about money, it's about the impact. That's it. So when it comes to budgets, target on multiple partners, not always focusing a large amount to a particular partners, because with the economic crisis, most of the companies do not tend to give you large number of finance partners if you have like continuous engagements with those companies from years, right? So always focus on small amounts and giving them many what do you call advantages, benefits, likewise. And it's not always about finances, but also you can go for material partners as well. Giving up on like all the traditional ways that we find incomes, there are many ways. Even the technology supports us to find there are many resources, ways to find funds. So go for them, because we are living in a new world with all the things that we face. So if we are following all the tradition ways, there's no journey for us to continue. Always adapt to the change, see the change, adapt to the change, and execute your plans on that. That is our guidelines and advices to our beloved community service directors. So yeah, with that, now we can move on to the next session. I think Thimira, Rotaract Thimira is ready for that. Before that, we have Rotaract Dinu to explain you on about the effective community service project plan. Over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Charithma. So yes, Charithma gave a full crash course about in the previous slide. So can you go to the next slide, please? Yes. So coming to the effective community service planning and execution, Charithma was mentioning a lot. I will be adding to what she was mentioning. So, you know, when it comes to these communities that we conduct our projects, it is really, really important that we truly identify what are their needs, right? Because sometimes sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the times what happens is we assume that this is the problem that they have, right? Then we have our discussions in Colombo and in you live. And then once we visit the community only, we get to know that what is the real question, right? For example, you may see a problem on Facebook or somewhere, but then if you go to the community and if you ask several questions about the problem from the community people, they would say a much deeper problem that they have, which is not as same as the issue that you got to know, right? So in the initial planning stage, it is really, really important that you visit the community and conduct a community assessment and a SWOT, of course, which will give you the direction as into what you need to solve in your project, right? So do that. And if you are not aware about these terms that I was telling, you can have a one-to-one session with our team. And yes, at any time you are able to reach out to our team and ask any question. But to give a basic idea, community assessment, you can visit the community, and before visiting the community, you can prepare a set of questions as into what you can ask from the community to get the real problem, to get an idea about the real problem, right? So have a survey and visit the community. You can even before, and also have one big contact point from the community, which can be a community leader, a religious person. It can be a monk or a priest, or also if it's a economic development project, you can reach out to the Pradesh Sabha, right? So like that, do that. Do the homework before you visit the community. And once you visit the community, as I said, if you have a big contact point from the community, a community leader, they will do the community gathering for you, right? Because if not, how you are going to gather the people? Because when it comes to those villages, those houses are not nearby. Sometimes from one house to another house, it can be 2 to 3 kilometers or even beyond that. So when you have a contact point from a community leader, it is easy for you to gather people and then conduct the community assessment and get a better idea of the project. And then you can go to the further planning, right? So do that. And then as Gaji and Charithma was mentioning, focus on providing long-term solutions, not short-term solutions, guys. Come to do sustainable initiatives which will give them long-term solutions, because you may do your year and finish it off and go, but the real question is whether you have truly solved the community needs. So focus on that, and if you need further guidance, reach out to our team and get to know what you have to get clarified. So yes, and then contingency plans. You know, the world is full of uncertainty. If we think about the last 2 decades in Sri Lanka, you know what has happened, right? Back-to-back problems in Sri Lanka. And you know, before few years back, we had one of the biggest pandemics Sri Lanka had ever faced. So we had to go fully virtual, right? And then the last year we had the inflation, transport issues to everything, right? So think if something like that happens, what you are going to do, right? And it can be even finances. You may plan a big project which is like the budget is like 1-2 million or even beyond that, and think if you don't get the enough funds in the end, how we are going to do the project. So have a contingency plan as well. And yes, sure that you do this stuff, guys. And also I hope everyone took notes from the beginning, and if you didn't do, make sure you take the notes, because this session will give you the right direction, especially for the charter clubs or to the newly appointed directors. Get the right directions, guys, from the beginning of the year itself. Do the things in the right way. And if you are stuck somewhere, please do reach out to our team and get your problems clarified. And yes, let's go to the next slide. Thimira will be continuing the presentation. Over to you, Thimira.
Thank you, Dr. Dinu. Hope I am audible and visible.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay, thank you, guys. So we will now quickly move on to the district initiatives, the projects we are going to done by the district. So this year we are planning to do projects on these key avenues: environment, wildlife, animal welfare, marginalized communities, anti-discrimination and coexistence, health, safety, and communal well-being. So under these key areas, we are going to have the projects, and I will give more for further on this project. The first one is the community service focus cluster project. I think Gaji also mentioned about this in the citation part. So in this project, all the clubs in RID 3220 come together and work towards on the Rotary focus area, finding solutions to sustainable solutions to burning community problems. So this year we have a plan like this. So we are going to divide all the clubs in the district into 10 to 8 clusters, and each and every cluster will assign a particular Rotary focus area. So on that, the project should be done on that Rotary focus area. And along with that focus area, we are also assigning a area, city. So the cluster can decide a location to do the project in that particular city. So, and as Gaji mentioned, every cluster will be assigned a DISCO member, so you can always get guidance and we will track. So these are the cities we are planning to allocate you. Next slide, please. So the Yalua. Yalua is one of our key projects done by the district for years now. So I think most of you have heard about this project, and this is basically focused on special community, small children who are like suffering from genetic condition Trisomy 21. It's like commonly known as Down syndrome. So this year we are trying to focus on the objectives as mentioned in this slide, like eliminating the like misconceptions and the inequalities, and the like empowering their parents and guardians who are like play a major role in their life. And we are hoping to bring together like employers, professionals, and job seekers, like who can like accommodate these children and like giving them a better future. And these children are like very talented, so we are planning to have exhibition to showcase their talents also. The next one. The next slide. So the Clean SL. Clean SL is also another key project done by the district like for years. And in this project, we are mainly focusing on the marine environment. So we are trying to eliminate the marine pollution. So this is also like happened last year and previous back. And so the next slide. Mega. Mega is a brand new initiative by the district. So in this project, we are basically planning on to like creating a better transport sector to people. So this under this project, we are going to renovate the Samudra train which running through Goal to Maradana. So we are going to renovate the train, and like there are some issues in that train. seated that infected with insects, and the fans lights are not working. So we are going to fix them, and we are going to make proper method to maintain them also. So the next one, the next slide. The one-to-one session. So this is a great opportunity to clubs where the clubs can meet the community service directors, community service team at the district. So you can have a knowledge sharing session, and as Dinu mentions, you can get answers to your doubts and get some feedback on your projects, and get some get some feedback on what you have done and what you can improve more. So we will be sharing an email regarding this one-to-one session, so you can book our calendar and you can have the sessions. So hope all the clubs will get this opportunity and get a chance to fix up their the getting up the standard of their community service projects. So I think that's all the community service district initiatives we have. So next we have the Q&A session. So it's open for you all now for your burning issues. Thank you.
Kavinda and Hettiarachchi, anything to add while the participants send the questions in?
Yes, Haji. So one more thing. So we'll be sending out the com service toolkit.
So team, hi.
Yes, Ishini, you can go ahead.
No, sorry. I didn't hear you. So anyway, so kids, this is a good platform you to get clarify your things, since you are we are hoping that since you are in the process of developing your year plans, especially with the com service avenue, most of your projects will align with the com service avenue and whatnot, especially with the SDGs, Rotary 7 focus of areas. Now you know what are the district focus areas and whatnot. So because of that, if you guys have any sort of a question with regards to those things, how you guys can get those knowledge or the sort of a thing, yes, of course, from our end also, we are, as Kavinda mentioned, we are also sharing a com service toolkit to make your as a support to make your projects more sustainable and more impactful ones. So this is a very open platform. ඔයාලට ඕන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඕනම language එකකින් අහන්න. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ඒ වගේම ඔයාලට ප්‍රශ්නක් තියෙනවා නම් chat එකේ හරි දාන්න. Then it's going to be a common question to all the directors, com service directors, president and the secretaries who are here today. And this recording also shared with all the clubs with the time being. So ඒක ඒතකොට reference note එකක් ඉදිරියට හරි තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒ ඔයාලගේ ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න openly. මෙතන කාටවත් ලැජ්ජ වෙන්න ඒක මෝඩ ප්‍රශ්නයක්, ගොම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් එහෙම එකක් නැහැ. Because of that, ask all the question. Yeah, we are having a question from Rotaract Club of Colombo.
Sorry to interrupt you. I actually raised my hand far too soon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, just one small question. Since it is compulsory, basically mandatory for all district clubs to join, I want to know more information about Together SL. When would be the commencing date for all of us to get together in clusters to join for projects?
Dinu, you want to go ahead or Rotaract, Dinu? Okay. First of all, this year will be we have renamed it, so it's no longer Together SL. So it's the cluster initiative. And the second thing is, so we will be sharing the clusters within the coming weeks. We'll be sharing a document or a Google Excel sheet with the club clusters. So after that, you all will be assigned a DISCO member, a community service member. So with that, most probably by the end of this month, or at best within this month, we'll be starting the project, planning to everything. So each and every cluster will be getting a different Rotary focus area and a city. So we have decided the city, based on the, practicality and feasibility. So if there's anything, to change, we can discuss it among the members within the cluster itself. So the answer to your question, by the end of this month, after we release the guidelines and the clusters. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, nice.
We have another question from Zaki. So yeah, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Zaki from Rotaract of Achievers Lanka Business School. I have a small question. Am I audible? Sorry.
Yes, you are.
Okay. When we are doing a community service, do we have any limitations like geographical or anything like to do this area? Like, do we have any limitations?
Yeah. Shall I go, Gaji? Okay. So yeah, the only limitation.
Shall I answer that question?
Okay, Ishinaka, you can go ahead.
Yeah, from achievers, right? So Mali, like this, so there's no any limitations, like we are given only the main focus of areas for a year. You can do your like impactful project while adhering to the guidelines given by the UN as SDG goals, like sustainable development goals or the Rotary focus of areas. Like we are open for all these things, and we are setting up couple of district focus areas only. There's no any limitation, or there's no any like in terms of focuses also, there's no any limitation. There's no any geographical limitations also. And we are more than happy to do international service initiatives aligned with our com service project as well. That is why we are having that tagline saying international service also. Like you guys can go a mile step beyond your international service initiatives as well. So yeah, there's no any limitation from mine, but there are a couple of focuses, key focuses from mine. That's all. Charithma, do you have anything to add on to that?
No, Aki, you answered well. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Feel free to ask anything that you want. There's no right or wrong in questions that you're going to ask. So yeah, just feel free. We are very friendly. So you can ask anything from us. No need to be scared. I think that's all from our audience for now. Yes, there's Roshani. unmuted herself. So do you want to accidentally happen? Okay. So yeah, if that's all from your end, as Thimira mentioned, we are having one-to-one sessions as well. Within this week, we will be sending calendar invitations with the available slots of the com service team as well. So you can ask anything that align with your like specific project, customized things for your club there. So we are having that conversation with any party that you want to involve with in terms of community service. So do invite us to have sessions with you guys. We can give our full support in terms of helping you to execute a nice year for community services and throughout the year for your any event. Like Gaji mentioned at the very beginning, we will be there. We are going to be there. So yeah, have us there as well. And as a start, let's start with one-to-one sessions where we can help you. Giving some guidance to start off. Gachi, Thimira, Dinu, anything else that we need to address?
I think we have covered everything so far. So hoping to have any the one-to-one sessions with y'all. If you all have any clarifications, each and every club have their own set of problems and own set of targets and goals in terms of avenues. So it's different from each and every club. One club might do project a project worth millions, and one club may do even bigger projects. So because of that, we will be tailoring each and every need that you all have. So if you all have any questions, reach out to us, and we are there to support you. Reach out to us if you all have any clarifications, problems, prashna. ගම්වල එහෙම ගිහිල්ලා ප්‍රශ්න නේ ඔක්කොම ටික ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ අපි නුදව කරමු. Yes, I think that's it from my end. Thimira, Dinu.
Oh, good. I think you can find our contacts from the directory
Yes.
we have shared in the beginning. So there are our emails and phone numbers. So you can reach out to us anytime.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you ComService team for the lovely introductory to the community service and like how to initiate the projects. So guys, before wrapping up, shall we take a photograph so that we can have the proof that you all have came up and participate to the ADTS. So guys, can you all switch on the camera and we can take the photo. There are few slides, 4 slides that I have to take. So it will take a few time as well. So anyway, guys, don't leave. Just switch on your camera so that I can take the photos. Still, there are few people to switch on the camera. I'll leave another minute so that if one can switch on their cameras. Right, so I'm gonna take the photograph. I'll count down like 3, 2, 1. So there are few slides. I have to like take 3 photographs. So in each photograph, all of you have to please keep smiling because sometimes you might be in other slides as well. Right, guys? 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. One more. 3, 2, 1. And another one. 3, 2, 1. Right, guys. Thank you very much for your attendance. I hope all of you have filled out the participation form, which is included in the chat. Yeah. So with that, we can conclude the Avenue Directors Training Seminar for the Community Service Avenue. Thank you all for participation and have a good night. See you guys soon.